Good morning to all. This is Dr. Carlos Celes from the platform of QuiroHub. And today I got a great experience for you with our friend that we've invited to our interview. And if you want to get clarity on why chiropractic is important to the people of Earth, balance your life between practice and your family life, and get a clearer understanding on chiropractic philosophy, stay with us because what we have for you today is just gonna change your whole perspective. Good morning to all. This is again Dr. Carlos Celes from the QuiroHub platform. Today I have the pleasure and the honor of presenting to our audience my dear friend, Haig John. Hello, Haig.
Hi, thank you for having me, Carlos.
I'm more than happy. Thank you for accepting our invitation. John and I had the opportunity to meet each other at the Big Idea, an event that was held last year in La UNEVE, University of the Valle of Ecatepec in Mexico, and which is going to be repeated this year. We're both going to be there this year again. John has a family practice in Melbourne, Florida. He created the Innate Adjusting Workshop. He's the founder and the teacher of that. He also has innate interviews on Spotify and YouTube, and host of Innate Express podcast, a podcast for the advancement of the inner wisdom. And it includes meditations, visualizations, and manifestations. It's all on Spotify. Also, and a great inspiration to me has been the group that he has on Green Books and Chiropractic Philosophy, focused on the principles set forth by D.D. Palmer. And of course, he's a graduate from my alma mater, Life University. John,
Yes.
hello again to our platform.
Hi, thank you.
As I was mentioning, I met John during the Big Idea in Mexico, an event organized by our fellow chiropractor Omar Lera, or known in Facebook as Omar Lefran. And I not only immediately connected with John. John, is when you get to know him, you immediately know he has a huge heart and a huge interest on helping people. And he just loves young chiropractors and young students and helping them, discover this that we know as chiropractic. While during my experience in Mexico, I had a horrible manifestation of low back pain. I've been traveling through Mexico for a few weeks before the event. I like to do that, travel and enjoy before the events. When I got to the event, I was sitting first row, and I was the last speaker for the day. And I would look at the stage, and I strongly believed that I was not going to be able to stand for an hour on that stage and teach my material as I was invited to do. John was adjusting people in the entrance of the room where they have the demonstration of chiropractic tables. And I saw his style of adjusting, and it immediately caught my eye. John was super focused on his adjusting. It was intently present and very precise on his evaluation before delivering the adjustment, which caught my attention. I asked him if he could adjust me. Of course, he said yes. And that was one of the most transformational chiropractic adjustments I received since I first got adjusted in chiropractic back in the 1990s. And later I learned that he teaches technique, that he teaches the work that he uses in his practice, and that was what he was teaching in Mexico. John, thank you again for you literally saved my life in that event. I really appreciate it, and that's part of what has us here today.
Well, that is great praise, and I'm honored and humbled by what you just said. And when we're really in a place of service, and in caring for our people, then we see life transform, and which starts with us, right? And one of my mentors, Pasquale Sarasoli, he always said, each adjustment you give you also receive. So I
Yes.
want to give the best that I possibly could. So I'm also receiving as well. It's not all selfish, but really is, the people deserve us at our best, and it's not always easy. And working on the inner self is very important, and then also working on our art and how we deliver it is very, very important. I'm really happy I could help you on that. Your talk in the Big Idea really gave me some perspective. I went and did all my PVAs for 5 years in the past, and I started looking at my numbers, and I was inspired by your talk. And I even
Thank
sent
you.
you the message. I said, hey, here's my
Yes,
PVA,
yes.
and I want to improve that for this year. So thank you very much.
Uh, uh, Thank you. That's what I do, and I'm super passionate about helping chiropractors the way I do, which is through the implementation of the organized business procedures, and I clearly see that that's my way of helping more people through chiropractic. Is helping chiropractors be able to better serve more people through their art and their science. Thank you so much. Tell me a little bit about what you teach. Your seminars are called Innate Adjusting. What is the proper name of your seminars?
It's innate adjusting workshops, and it is, the workshops that I do are, my adjusting workshops. And really we start with, we're adjusting innate to innate, or spirit to spirit. And when we're honoring that inborn wisdom, then, I tell people, look at this person as it's your mother or abuela, and you're adjusting from that level, or your child, whether, you have the same skin color or different, or you come from a different background or something else. Everyone deserves the greatest care possible. And so that's where we start from. And it's the clarity, and then, delivering the goods and delivering that adjustment with love and caring. Abuela's at the door right now. And so I'll be just a moment, okay? So what we come from, really, if we look at it, it's love. And if I love the people enough, I love them to give them the best that I can. And in 2021, we're bringing because I alternate through the years, and 2021 is infant and child adjusting. And so we're going to focus on infants and small children. Even the inner child in all of us also needs to be cared that way. So that's where we come from. And my basis in adjusting, I was teaching with Arnaud Bernier for about 11 or 12 years.
Wow.
Pasquale Sarasoli, he taught us all to adjust. And and from my work in BGI and other things, we bring this collective and deliver this approach so you make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
And it really begins within, though, right? It's not the doing. We begin with the being. You follow that?
I got it. I get it.
Yeah. So, and it's an honor. And really, for the profession of chiropractic, where should we start? And I think of Sid Williams, walking on the beach. And one of my close friends was Walter Aiken, and who was on the beach with him back in those days. And Sigafus was a mentor of mine until he passed. And, walking down the beach, and really they're probably thinking, how can we help chiropractic the most?
Mm-hmm.
And if we think about it, some of us, I want to get on stage and I want to just tell everybody what to do. But I think really connecting with the young chiropractors, and some of them are older than me, I get that. But the young chiropractors in school are just starting off, where we can help them with their success so they can pay their bills. That's important. But also they can care for a lot of people. They can care for their community. And chiropractic itself raises up at that point. And they're not scrambling just to survive, but they can truly thrive. That's my mission and goal.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, John. And I saw the connection that you have with the younger chiropractors. And I'll have to say that younger chiropractors, not necessarily is an age. It's an age thing
Right.
because there are chiropractors that are beginning their career at age 40. So they're not necessarily younger. They might be younger in experience. And then there also is, we can be younger in different ways. For example, I've made it my life purpose to study the business of chiropractic. That's what I teach, the business of chiropractic. But I'm sure I'm younger than you technique-wise in terms of your ability to not only deliver the chiropractic adjustment, but also teach the work that you do. There are different levels of youth knowledge or experience in chiropractic. Having said that, I noticed the connection that you have with your audience, with the group that we were in front of, a super fun, happy, connected group that we had, audience that we had in Mexico. And just can't wait to be there again with them and see that movement grow. Where do you teach? Do you teach your seminars? Where do you teach your work?
Well, this year we postponed our seminar at Parker. We postponed Sherman. We had some setup we were going to do at Life, but this year I'm just putting a line through it and put it on pause for next year. So we put some things on pause. We're not forcing things. Everything's at ease, and of course I have to focus on my own practice, and
Yes.
I think that is a very important thing because that has to thrive. And for me, I get, my self-esteem is also based on the success of my practice
Uh-huh.
sometimes. And so I've been focusing there as well. Mexico, I love coming to Mexico. I went 4 or 5 times last year. We are also planning for Brazil next year. My wife is from Brazil,
Excellent.
and there are a lot of great chiropractors down there. We connect with our Green Book meetings, and we do some of those for Brazil as well. And my wife's family, they're in Fortaleza, and they're great chiropractors. My intention is if I can add anything to help them, to do something a little bit better and to care for our family down there, then I'm going to offer it to them. And so we've had a lot of great feedback, and I haven't done one yet, but we've done mission trips there, and I did my first mission trip with Lou Corletto,
Wow.
and that's where we met my wife. And so we've been doing mission trips there since she and I got married about 11 years,
Wow,
and
fantastic.
it's so nice. Well, of course, we had to postpone this one we were going to do this year, but we'll have those mission trips in Brazil in 2021 starting again for sure. And those missions, and I just like to say this, it's not my business doing mission trips. I make them as affordable as possible to
Mm-hmm.
cover expenses so every student has an opportunity, if they can, to go. And I don't want people to be excluded because of finances if
Sure.
we can help it. So, and it's not to experiment on people. It's really, work with them before we even go in their adjusting. We do adjusting workshops there, and we invite all the Brazilian chiropractors that want to come at no charge to come and also be a part of this and what it's
Excellent.
like to truly serve at that level. So it's really exciting in those ways, and and like again, it's all for the people. If the people are advancing from through chiropractic and lives are changing, bodies are healing, they're becoming more spiritually connected, like Dee Dee was talking about. Then my mission to planet Earth is being fulfilled, and that's a part of it. And we were talking about my mission in the office yesterday with our new team member, Dr. Colin Buck, who just moved from Barcelona. He's
Yes.
bilingual, which is helpful for me. I'm not even, I can't say bilingual. I have a few blips in Portuguese, Spanish, and French that I could barely survive in. But we're talking about the mission. And our mission for our office is to create a heavenly earth.
Hmm.
And I think of the Lord's Prayer on earth as it is in heaven. And if I have any other mission in the world, I'm working to fulfill that. And if I'm doing that in the office, and it's the reason for the things that you mentioned, from the podcast to the adjusting seminars and the green books and that type of thing. So
That's a gigantic mission that you've chosen for yourself. And I have to say that only people like you that do this out of love and out of inspiration and able to do everything that you do and keep a smile. And do it lovingly and with a great smile. Talking about, you mentioned your the new team member in your practice. You mentioned having to postpone events in Sherman, Live, Parker, and in Brazil, and that brings me to the situation today. How have you how have you stayed focused during these times of the COVID pandemic?
It's a very important question because it's tough. And I have not watched the news in decades. And even on my Facebook page, I used to brag about how everybody's so positive on my page.
Uh-huh.
And I'd read wonderful quotes, and I just feel so good on my Facebook page. It has all changed. It is, the complete opposite. And, it's in a way like it's a novella. And I get caught up in the soap opera. And that's just a new thing every moment. And for me, I've had to just put it down, and I've focused a little more on my hobbies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, my hobbies, and Sigafus used to say this to me: Haig, you have a hobby collecting hobbies, because my hobby has always been chiropractic. And so now I'm really just taking the time where I can disconnect from the office, the seminars, and everything, and be more at peace. And you inspired me as well, because one of our students here at Palmer was telling me, I think you may have bought a sailboat from somebody's father, or you sold it to them or something.
Uh-huh.
And I'm on some sailing pages, and I got on a sailing page with you. And I thought, man, I'm getting back to sailing.
Good for you.
A sailboat just to play in the intercoastal here. And I thought, man, that's a good disconnection and being at peace and in nature at the same time with the family.
Good for you. Fantastic. So one of the things you've done to stay focused is drop the news and focus on your hobbies and on family.
Yes. And Sid Williams said too, also, not getting stuck on the hobby or the vacation and disconnecting from that. So when we're in the office, it's 100% service for the people, not thinking about sailing and doing those things. Getting it out of the system and getting right back on track and focus is very important for me. And that's where we see the most success for the things that we do.
Fantastic. John, in our audience, we have a diversity of chiropractors of ages and languages. We have people that are bilingual in our page. We have English-speaking people that follow us, and we also have Spanish-speaking chiros. In the last few days, there's a lot going on Facebook about our new colleagues graduating. There's a huge class from Mexico graduating and beginning their professional life. There's also chiropractors graduating from under many challenges, with the COVID situation, from US-based schools. What can you share with us was the biggest challenge to start practice when you began, that you can share with them, and how do you overcome that challenge?
Well, I started practice, and I do not recommend this to anyone, on a shoestring budget, and I started off on my own, and I in $10,000, and I borrowed from my mother, who's here right now, and she said, you have to pay off all your credit cards first with that $10,000, and she was smart, get out of as much debt as possible. Mm-hmm. But what I did was stay focused, and I was I used to say, as soon as I had enough money for a plane ticket, I would fly to Pasquale Sarasoli's office in Brooklyn and just be engulfed in the philosophy. I would go to Dynamic Essentials, DE, and I would go to places where people are focused on the principle of chiropractic and around successful chiropractors. And so I got to work more on understanding our philosophy, why I'm doing this. Fantastic. And I got to work. And you and I, just before we started, of I love doing screenings. Social media really, to me, is going out and saying, hey, how you doing? I'm the chiropractor down the street. Nice to meet you. You know, I love being around people. And so I did screenings, and my wife and I, and, you know, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but on our first anniversary, I did a screening at a church, and in the afternoon, I did a talk at a corporation. And, you know, on our wife, at our first anniversary, and now I do my best not to do anything like that anymore. But she was my team member, and she was supporting everything we had to do to grow a successful practice to care for the people. And so we got to work. We did eight screenings a month,
Wow.
3 or 4 outside talks a month. I'd go to restaurants, leave a little extra tip, and get to know the waitresses. I'd give 10% discounts for the downtown, the
Uh-huh.
businesses. And a good friend of ours, Armand Rossi from Sherman, he's at Sherman now, he said, go meet all the businesses. So I'd go in and meet every business in town. I'd make sure I would ask them about their business first, not about me, but
Sure.
about them. How can I refer people to you? And we just grew from there.
Fantastic.
Now, you know, now I want to do those again, but we have other things we have to deal with. So for the young ones, getting out is, you know, loving, caring from our heart, doing our best to going out and meeting people. The social things work pretty well out there, but you have to also be able to deliver the goods when you get there. And I saw your interview, and you were talking about torque release.
Uh-huh.
And you've also inspired me recently because I love seminars and I love learning about adjusting. And Jay Holder comes to Florida all the time. And I think I might do one now listening to your seminar.
Good,
And if
good.
you don't mind, I'm just going to touch on this. Innate Adjusting Workshops isn't only me. And what we really want to do is bring the experts. And we have Dan Lyons is going to come to Florida and do, and I'm trying to plan it for winter for him to leave,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the cold to come to the beach down here. And
That
to
shouldn't be too hard.
maybe not. So, and we're talking about that. And then we're doing BGI, biogeometric integration. Sue Brown's wonderful work she did November 13th, 14th, and 15th in Melbourne, Florida. So we're hosting these things, and we want to advance chiropractic and creating a hub like your Chiro
Uh-huh.
hub and of technique. So it's, you know, I'm so glad we've connected too, because I think we're going to complement each other in many ways.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no doubt. There's a lot to be done. And we got perfectly aligned missions with through different paths.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention something to you along that line. You were mentioning Jay, and I wanted to touch base on this. One of the things I was waiting for this interview to give you credit for this. I mean, very impressed and happy for all those involved with your book club. Um, as I've seen it on Facebook and I've participated on some, you have a group of Kairos that get together online on a live connection, and you discuss different parts of different green books. I was even more impressed that you have to give her my name. You have to give me her name because I like to interview this person. The lady, I think she's Mexican, that translates the whole interaction that you have. What's her name?
Veronica. And
Veronica.
her and Edgar, they both work as a team, and they are students at Univet.
They're
And
students.
yeah,
Oh
students.
my
And
goodness. Wow.
we have mostly students, and we have a few chiropractors that come on. Some of them have been practice nearly 50 years. You know, collectively, we have hundreds of years of chiropractors actually on there most of the time. And we open it up for, you know, for response. And we're like the old guys, they break it down. And that's what we're doing. And so we have the translator. She speaks, translates into Spanish the readings that we're doing, and then translates into Spanish or English from the students that have questions or comments or something
Wow.
like that. So it's
Fantastic.
not only from us, it's also do you need clarification, or can you give us your clarification?
Wow.
Because philosophy is not one thing. It is how we
Yes.
see it with our eyes in the moment, right? Or the Bible or spiritual books, you just read it once and it's over.
Mm.
Same thing I feel with the green books. And right now we're doing D.D. Palmer's 1914, The Chiropractor, and the most controversial chapter in chiropractic. It's the moral and religious duty of a chiropractor. And he's not talking about chiropractic being a religion, and I want people to realize that. But our duty and the morality of caring for people, why we should have that mission, really, you know. And I'll tell you a little bit else about that. Many of
Yes.
them, we also put Portuguese subtitles in there. So we have Spanish translation,
Wow.
and then we add Portuguese in there. So
Wow.
we can share it with the rest of South
Do you
America.
actually type in the Portuguese, or is there an automation that takes care of that?
I have a team. I have a guy that does it for us. It costs us
Wow.
about $1 a minute, and so it's taken me a long time to finally dial that in, and that's been great. And we've also translated D.D. Palmer's books into Spanish and Portuguese,
Wow.
and I posted those for free. So we can have I'm having the last run through. My wife has a master's in Portuguese literature, so she's done some run through, and we have some guys in Brazil. So that hasn't fully been released yet. We want to make sure the translations are done. But you know, getting those things around the world, and the students are amazing in South America and Mexico. So you know, I really see the blossoming of principled chiropractic care, you know, south of the border, and
Yes.
it's
Yes.
really amazing.
You know, I have this. You know, you say that, and I get goosebumps
Me too.
because every time we are Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are in a funny situation. You know how it is. You know,
Sure.
we have this total influence from the United States over Puerto Rico. You know, we are born American citizens. Most of our news and everything that happens is about the United States, but we're still Spanish speaking. We are Hispanics. We have strong cultural and historical ties to Spain, Central and South America,
Sure.
Mexico, and that sort of puts us in a very interesting situation where we can look at the chiropractic in the United States, and we can look at chiropractic in Latin America, and there's a lot of good to be done in Latin America. There is, and this is my individual opinion. I think the future of vitalistic chiropractic, it's in Latin America.
Carlos, you and I are on the same page with that.
Yes.
And that's very, very exciting. And, you know, we have a good friend. He's our neighbor here. He has practices in Peru and Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's exciting just hearing his stories of really of A, personal transformation, and B, not getting caught up with billing, coding, insurance, and all those things.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
I think it takes us away from the true care. And when we're at the essence of, I'm going to tell you what chiropractic is, here it is, and you see that life transform. And, you know, just hearing stories of a friend who adjusted one child one time, seizures every day, their entire church, their entire town, everyone's been praying for this boy. One adjustment, the body starts healing, starts the healing process. Guess who starts showing up in the office, in a young chiropractor's office? The entire church,
Yes.
the entire town,
Beautiful.
everyone starts coming from one adjustment. You think about that, and then you have all those lives you can change.
What's the code for adjusting at a church? The billing code. You know, I've retired from coaching for now. I just have another project that I'm working with, and I'm devoting all of my time. I do keep some VIP clients one or two VIP clients that I coach, and they are Latin Americans, and they're out of the United States. And I just love working with them, just because everything is pure. Is nothing is dirty with insurance.
Yeah.
And, you know, having coached people in the United States and in Puerto Rico is trying to link the insurance model and the chiropractic model that makes the water muddy. But when
It
you
does.
remove the insurance model from the formula, it is the most beautiful way to practice. If we ever thought that cash practice was the way to do it, you should see people successful chiropractors in Latin America practicing and just
Yeah,
having a ball and changing lives for real and
that's
educating
exciting.
people on what it is. Hi, going back to your book club. Um, it inspired us to create an intra book club. We had as soon as I saw you doing it, I coordinated with my clinics, and every Wednesday we connect online. The teams from all of our clinics in San Juan, we connect on Zoom, and everybody has a chapter assigned to discuss from what also inspired me, my friend Tacha Costales, who is a chiropractic assistant coach out of Ibiza, Spain, and she does the same with the ChiropracTIC First. So we started with ChiropracTIC First, and each team member has an assigned chapter. The team member presents on Wednesday her chapter, and then he asks questions to the group, which forces everybody to read the chapter
Yeah.
because everybody has to answer her questions. And obviously, because she studied the book, her questions are not easy questions. She's, digging to make sure that the team understands what the point of that chapter was. We just read that last chapter was on the Masha and Dasha story, the conjoined twins.
Yeah.
Which
I haven't read that book in a while.
Yes, and to my surprise, I remember the Masha and Dasha story from my times at chiropractic school, and I was of the idea. Well, my memory was one that they must have passed away in the 1940s. They passed away in year 2000 and some.
Wow.
This is modern history. Yes, Masha and Dasha are modern history, and somehow when it was presented to me in chiropractic school, I placed it in the 1910s and 1920s, and no, the Masha and Dasha story is modern story, modern history.
Well, I'd like to touch on a little bit, like what you were just saying. I've been for the past about 6 or 7 years having morning readings in the office,
Yeah.
and we've read, The Deep Breath of Life from Alan Cohen as a daily read. We read that first. Sigafu started me off reading. We read Proverbs as it relates to the day of the month. We do that,
Wow.
and then we read Abundance Philosophy. We've read A Course in Miracles. We've read The Richest Man in the World, which is about Proverbs and King Solomon. Amazing
Yes.
book. We're reading The Road to Success Starts in the Heart from Sid Williams right now, and
Wow.
Lasting Purpose we're reading right now. So we just read a little bit.
That's
And
fantastic.
then it's fantastic. And when we see abundance philosophy and abundance consciousness with our CAs and staff, that changes the dynamic of things. It changes the vocabulary. It changes the approach to connecting with people because they're thinking in abundance ways, right? And somehow chiropractors, we do that very easily, but the rest of the world doesn't normally do things like that. So it's so good to hear those things and creating that with our staff. It's not just for the chiropractor, it should be for the staff too. And, that has been a wonderful thing for our office as well. So I'm happy to, I'm going to add that book, and I wrote it down. I wrote it down because I've forgotten about that book. I'm going to add it into our list for sure.
And you read these books with, you read
We read
these
them out
books
loud.
with your team or with patients as well?
Well, we invite the patients. We do it at 8 o'clock in the morning. We do it from 8 to 8:30, 8:40. And then we all get adjusted, but we also have time to express ourselves if someone has something to input. And that's our morning meeting as we do philosophy and abundance.
Wow,
and
fantastic.
Then we invite our patients to come. We have an ebb and flow of that, and we call it our morning power hour is what we do.
What a way to start a chiropractic day. Yeah, I doubt that you can do any better than that.
Well, this is the segue into my other plug. Really, is for my meditations. are live recordings of our morning meditation after we do our readings, and that's on Spotify, and it's a Nate
Yes.
Express podcast. And so that's where those come from. Those are live readings with our whole group and our team, and we post them. They are usually, we're doing visualizations and meditation. We do healing visualizations for the chiropractors. We need it too.
Yes.
And so those things have been really wonderful. We just hit over 100 on Spotify
Excellent.
right now. 100 podcasts. So that was a big achievement. So
hi again. Thank you for accepting the invitation to our interview. It's inspirational, everything that you're doing at the heart level that you're doing it. I'm a very structured guy. I work out of structure, and I know that everything that you achieve and the level at which you are helping people is coming from your heart, because it's amazing what you do, and everything what you shared with us at the Big Idea in Mexico about the work that you teach, the book club that you're leading, the missions that now I learned about them during this interview, and the translation of the books, the Spotify club. You are an example and a role model to follow. Thank you so much. I know I'm saying thank you for myself and the people that know and will know about you. Do you have any? And I'm dearly looking forward to us meeting again in Mexico. That was a fun time, and it will be a fun time this time again. Any last words for audience? Hi.
Well, I just invite everybody to come in. There is no charge for any of these things. I want you to come in and, when we all participate together and grow together. And Carlos, I just want to say, I am touched and honored. I felt so honored to come and join you on here. You're someone I see and respect, and, you're following and really, truly loves you, and I can see that. And, you are a blessing for chiropractic, and I appreciate you a great deal.
Thank you. John, we'll see you in Mexico in the month of November at La Gran Idea, or the Big Idea. Which is the best way to reach you at?
The best rate, Haig John DC at Gmail. You can message me on Facebook is a really easy one. What's up? 772-713-1487. I'm here for you. And anyone who wants to reach out, student, potential student, chiropractor, who have you, if I can help you, I'll do what I can to help you. And you can reach out anytime.
Fantastic. Hi, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll stay in touch. And should we not speak before, I'll see you in Mexico. Be well, my friend.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Stay well.